One of the most important things that you may do in a science report or a lab report is to write a conclusion or also a background that you would need to have some outside sources in, some information that you've gathered that's connected to or associated with your topic in order to explain either your results or what it is that you're doing. And as part of that, you will need to include a citation for where that information is from. You need to give credit for where that information is from, whether it be a summarized section of an article or an actual quote. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use EasyBib and Google Docs in order to cite a piece of information that you found. The first thing that I've done is I've opened up a Google document. You could do this with a previously created Google document or a new Google document. And I'm going to go and click on Add-ons. And I'm going to click Get Add-ons. And there's a number of different add-ons, or like small programs that you can add to your Google Docs, but I'm going to search for, or actually it's right here, you could also search for it if you don't find it. I'm going to search for EasyBib, and I've actually already installed this, but if you hadn't installed it, how you could actually install this is there'd be a button right here that would say Install, and it will walk you through the steps of adding this program to your Google Documents. And so once you have installed it, again under add-ons, you'll notice this additional option, EasyBib Bibliography Creator. And if you click Manage Bibliography, it will then pop up with a little side tab bar here that allows you to cite a source within your documents, so you don't even actually have to leave. And you have a number of different options you can do: a book, journal, article, website. If you go to the main EasyBib website, there's lots of different options that you can do. Generally, probably the one that you'll use most often is a website. And so let's say that I have found an article and that I want to cite some information from it. And I found this article today on Science Daily, and it talks about global warming doubles risk of extreme La Nina events based off of some research. And let's say that I have found a quote here that I would like to use, and maybe it's this portion right here. And so I would like this to be in my article. So I'm just going to copy this, and in my document I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to put this in quotations because this is a direct quote from the article. And I want that information to be cited. I need to give credit for that information of where I got it from. And so how I'm going to do that in Google Docs using the EasyBib add-on is I'm going to copy and paste the URL of the article. So up here at the address bar is the URL for the article, and I'm going to copy it. On a Mac, you can push Command-C to do this, or Control-C on a Windows device. And I'm going to paste it here by pushing Command-V and then click Search. And it's found my article, and I'm going to select it. And then it gives me a bibliography right here. Now the best way to add this to a document would be to add a specific section called a works cited section. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to do it a little bit below my quote here just to show you as an example. But probably in your document you'd want this to be at the end of your report. So I'll title this Works Cited, and I'm going to make this number 1. And so I'm going to go and click More here, and I'm going to list this number 1. Your works cited, you always want it to be in alphabetical order, and so since I only have 1 in this case, it doesn't really matter. But in the future, if you had multiple sources, you'd want it to be in alphabetical order. And I can change the format. These are different citation formats. MLA, APA, and Chicago are different formats. For my course, it doesn't really matter. Usually I just suggest sticking with MLA because that is the free one on EasyBib. And so I'm going to click this red button that says Add Bibliography to Document. And so it's added that, and it actually typed in works cited here. And I'm going to delete that because I've already have it added, and I'm going to move it so that it's at number 1. And so there is my works cited. I've got my source for where I got this information from. And the last thing that I would like to do is, if I had a long paragraph here or a long portion of text, I would want the reader to know where this information come from. Especially if I had multiple sources, I would want them to know that this quotation is from a particular source. And so how I'm going to do that is I'm going to insert something kind of like a footnote here. And I'm going to type in a number 1, because this goes with citation number 1, And I'm going to change that by highlighting that number 1, and I'm going to make it similar to like an exponent. And so if I've highlighted that number 1, I'm going to go to Format, and I'm going to make it a superscript. And so you can now see there's a little number 1 here. And so what that does to the reader, or what it tells the reader, is that piece of information, that quote, is from the first source in your works cited. If I were to use this same source somewhere else in my background, I would just need to put in a number 1 at the end of the sentence for wherever I got that, wherever that information was in my text. And so then if I added additional sources, I would add additional numbers under the works cited, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And I could add in those superscript numbers throughout my my written portion of wherever that is. So that's how to use EasyBib in Google Documents, the add-on EasyBib in Google Documents, in order to cite your sources of information that you use in your reports.